Hello and welcome to Launchmetrics Support Center training video. Today we'll be going over the events mailing portion, showing you how you can see all of the new mailings that you can create and also how to manage your invitee automated emails. So let's begin. So after your event has been created and you uploaded all of your invitees into your event, next thing you want to work on is on your mailing systems. So in order for you to access it, simply click where it says Events Mailing. Once you do, this is where you can create all of your new mailings such as invitations and all of the available drop-down availabilities. So for example, if you click on create new mailing, you can start off with like sending an invitation. So again, this is basically the one that you'll send out your invite so people can RSVP. You can also do an RSVP follow-up email. So again, this is really great, especially when you send out that first initial invitation and there were several people that haven't RSVP'd, you can follow up making sure that they do confirm for your event. You can also do an event reminder, which of course with these over here, once you do select it, it's just to more remind all of your invitees that did confirm about the event coming close. And of course, you can also do a custom email. This gives you the ability to pretty much give you a free range of what exactly you want to write. So it can be very personal if you like. Aside from these, you also have your manage invitee automated emails. So by default, when you do create an event and you click here, when invitees get sent out the invitation, by default, they will get a yes or no confirmation based on how they RSVP'd. So if you notice, the yes and no and the guest confirmations are marked as active. So that means that they're automatically set to be sent the moment that a client RSVP'd yes or no. If you go to options, you do have the ability where you can mark it as inactive if you don't want these to be sent automatically. Notice how you can also edit the draft. So if you do that, this gives you a great preview of exactly what gets sent out. So once it does, if you notice, this is the common yes and no confirmations. I do want to point out that you do have the ability to edit these at any moment if you like. So if you'd like to add a personal message, you simply can. And then we'll exit out. So once you click on back to the events mailing, this right here is basically where you can start off with your mailing type. So the standard again is always going to be the invitation one. So once you press OK, notice that there's a series of tabs that are available that you have to fill in. So the first one is the setup part. So again, this is where you're going to put in your subject line. This is where you'll put in your send from name, and then you have your send from email. Now, if you notice right here, there's a little green checkbox. So that means that you do have anti-spam detection in place for your email domain. If you don't know what the email domain is, it's basically anything that begins with after the @ So like by any chance, let's say you don't, and you get a little exclamation mark, notice how you'll get a yellow box right over here letting you know that your domain is not validated for spam. So basically what that means is that the invites are going to be sent out no matter what. However, there might be a possibility that invites might end up in individual spam folders. So if you want to avoid this, simply click on the Support Center page. And then whoever is your IT personnel within your company will simply have to follow these instructions in order to update your SPF addresses right over here. I do want to point out that anything in front of the @ can be anything you want it to be. So again, it can be the name of your company, it can be just hello@launchmetrics.com. The most important thing that is really important is your reply to. Because again, when you send out the invite, let's say any of your invitees have any inquiries that they have, and they try to reply back, this is the email that it'll go to. You can also put any internal notes. So again, that's more for you and your team whenever you're looking at this specific invitation. You can also add in any attachments to this invite. Do want to point out that the maximum size is 5 megabytes. So after you finish the setup part, simply click on Choose Template. Now if you notice, we do have two new modes. We have the regular manual mode, and then we have the new drag and drop method. The drag and drop method is the new version that we have for the events mailing, which is what I'll be going over specifically. Now if you notice, you do have the ability where you can start an invitation from blank, or you can use one of our default templates that we actually have provided to all of our clients. I also do want to point out that if you do select one of these templates, that doesn't mean that it's set on stone where you can't edit it. You absolutely have the ability where you can edit anything in regards to that template, so you can add in your own images, you can edit the wording inside of it, so again, you can personalize it. I also do want to point out that let's say you did have a previous invitation that you want to use again, you can also click on this button that says Import Design from Previous Event. This will then give you the ability to search any of the event names that you currently have in the system. I do want to point out that right now it only shows me any event that currently has not been archived. I do want to point out that by default, events do get archived 3 months after the past date that it happened. So let's say you do want to look any archive events, click on this little checkbox here to search for archived events. And then once you do, you can then select the invitation that you want to import. Notice that you do have the ability where you can import the template automatically, or you can also preview it as well to make sure that it's the right one that you want to use. So for today, I'm going to start off with a blank one so you get an idea of what's available in the new drag and drop method. Once you're here, you're going to notice you're going to get a blank template available. So now if you notice, here is your design concept of what you can do. Notice that you'll start off with no contact here. You can simply drag new contact panel right over here. So this is where you can choose where you can add your text, image, buttons, any dividers, any social media, HTML codes, or just an image of the embedded video. So you also have the option for the rows as well, so you can change your layout preferences. So for example, let's say you want to start off with one of these over here, you can. So this, it'll be an empty row. Or let's say you want 2 rows, 2 columns, right over here, you can then choose your content from the content tab. So for example, I can set it up to be where text can be right over here. And then if I want to do image, I can just drag and drop right over here to this box. Do you want to point out that once you click on one of these, for example, from the outside, you do have the ability where you can delete it if you don't want it. Also, you can do other features such as the text. So let's say we're going to start off with the text block. Basically, once you click inside, you're going to notice you're going to have this little rectangle giving you all the options such as changing the font, the size, bold, italic, also like how do you want it to be aligned. You can also do bullet points, also from right to left, and how to link and unlink special words. So for now, let's start off with my introduction for my invite. So I can do hello. And let's say you want to use some of the custom database variables that you had before where it'll automatically generate the first name for everyone. In order for you to do that, simply click on this tab here where it says Merge Tags. This will then give you all of the custom database variables available for you. So again, simply scrolling down, I can simply find for the one that says for invitees, first name. So again, we can do as it is, in title, uppercase or in lowercase. So for now, we'll do first name. And then of course you can type in, please, we welcome you. And again, here's again where you can definitely use the custom database variables if you like. So we can do the event name. We'll do the event location. And of course, you can also edit it as well. Remember that you can also use our templates if you feel more comfortable having all of that filled in for you. Notice that once you do, you can go right over here. Notice how you can change the text color if you like, as well as the background color for any of this. So then right over here again, if you notice, right over here you have your line height when you're checking over here. So again, you can choose what kind of spacing you like. So for example, we can increase it right over here so have more space in between the lines. Now, of course, one of the really great things is with the image, you actually have the ability where you can either browse through your folders to be able to upload it, or the other option is that you can simply now drag and drop as well too. So again, let's say I have my image right over here. I can just simply drag and drop it, and then it'll upload it. So again, one of the other things too with this is once you click on whatever you're working on, the content properties will change. So by default, if you notice, because of the image, is the automatic width. So you can uncheck it, and then you can increase the width into any size you want it to be. You also have the ability right over here where you can also hyperlink it. So you do have the ability where it can open a web page or it can send an email. You can also add it to a special link. So the special links are really great too, because here you can use it where it can automatically, if they click on the image, take them to the RSVP portal where they can RSVP for the event, or read email online, update their profiles, or the unsubscribe link as well. So let's hyperlink it for now. You know what? Let's say we don't want to write anything next to the image, we can just simply delete it. So now, of course, one of the other things that you can also add example is the button. So your button is where it would be for the RSVP. But before that, let's say you want to have a divider. You can go and drag it right over here so it can divide the line in between. And again, once you're clicking it, notice how that you have the ability, we can make it solid, dotted, or dashed. You can also increase the color, you can also change the color. Also, make it thicker as well. And also increase the width, or decrease it. Now if we go back to content, let's say I want to add in a button, you most certainly can. I'll just drag it right under, and here's your button. Which again, you can make it say anything you want it to be. So let's say I want it to be RSVP. Notice how for the background of it, under the content property, since I'm working on it, I can make it be black, let's say, if that's what you prefer. And you can also change the text color as well too. So it can be red. And of course, one of the other important things is that you want it to take you to the RSV portal link. So again, while we're clicking on it, we're simply going to click where it says special links, frequently used, and then the event RSVP portal. One of the other options you have as well too is the social medias. This one is actually a really nice feature that we've recently added, because here you can also put all of your social media links that you have associated to your company. So again, once you click on it, notice how you can put your URL to your Facebook, your Twitter, Google+. Let's say, for example, you don't have a Google+. Instead, you want to add in your Instagram. You can simply delete it, add a new icon. Notice how it gives you the options of which one. And again, you can put in your URL for it. Now, let's say that you really like your invite. It's great. You love it. Next thing after that is you want to click on your recipients tab. So one thing that I do want to point out is before you go to the preview and send, it's very crucial that you actually do add in some recipients in order for the full preview to take it into account. The reason why is, like, let's say I go straight to the preview and send right over here. One thing's first, you're going to see this disclaimer, letting you know that the preview below is displaying with an example data set. Select a recipient for a true preview. So right now, even if I send myself a test email, it's actually not going to give me the full information of everything that's in regards to my event. So even if I try to click like the RSVP, notice how it won't even work. Because again, you need a real recipient in order for the test preview to take into effect. So now, I'm going to click on the Recipients tab one more time. And then I'm going to click on this button that says Add from your invitees list. So this is, again, make sure that your invitees have already been added to your event. So now it'll give me all of the invitees that I have. So again, you can select them either one by one, or you can do add by all found, or by the page, based on your display of how many you are showing exactly. So again, let's say I add in all of these individuals, hit the X right over here. You're going to notice the invitees right over here. So again, you do have the ability where you can preview the mail, add to an existing, remove them, or edit the recipient details. You can also queue them up as well. And again, you have those same options as well. Now that we added the invitees, if we go to the preview and send, notice how now it gives you like a drop down, like you're doing it for Zoe or Rosario. And it gives you a full preview. Do want to point out, right now, let's say I do click on the RSVP button. It'll then give you right over here pretty much like what exactly they have supporting going on. One important thing though is that if you notice there's a yellow box right over here, it's extremely important that you do click on Open RSVP. The reason why this is important is because one is if you don't do it, when they click on the RSVP button, it's actually not going to show your event that we're currently working on right now. So that's why it's really, really important that when you're ready to send out that invite, to make sure you click where it says Open RSVP. So let's say I do that and press OK, then that invite for this event is going to show up. And now again, you do have the ability where you can then send yourself also a test email to receive it to your email to make sure to see how it looks like. And you can type it in right over here. One of the other really great things about this too is that you can also see the previews right over here of how it looks like when they open it up on their computer compared to their tablet and also compared to their smartphone as well. Now, you do have two options when it comes to sending. You can actually send out your invitation right now immediately by simply hitting on the send button, or you can also schedule it when you want to send it out. So again, this is great where let's say you were just working this late at night and you're like, well, this is not the right time to send it. Let's send it early morning tomorrow morning. You can actually choose the date and also what time you want to send it. Now remember that this is under military hour, okay? So again, if it's going to be at 9, you're going to select this one. If you want to send it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to select 13. So again, we're going to send it exactly at 9 a.m. in the morning. You can then schedule it. And then it'll send it directly at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So for now, I'll just hit the send key, and then it'll send out this invitation. Now once it does, again, it'll tell you right over here all the deliveries based on how many invitees you sent it to, the unique opens. The unique opens is in regards to anything that was hyperlinked. So again, you know how we added the Instagram and the Facebook links. If they click on it, it actually tells you how many of those, how many times it was opened. Same thing goes with those specific links as well too. It shows you, it breaks it down right over here actually by how many times they clicked on it. So if you go to options, you can also go over here to where it says view recipients. And then right over here, it shows you like how many was successfully delivered with the unique opens and the links. And one of the really important things that are really great is your delivery response. This again is crucial because again, you can break it down when you send it to know who it was failed delivery. And the failed delivery is really great because then it'll give you exactly why it was failed. So it can be a number of reasons. One, it can be like the email actually doesn't exist anymore. Or you got their away message. Or they actually unsubscribed from receiving mailing from you. So again, it tells you exactly why. So this is good. So that way you can actually update the the invitee's contact information so you can retry to send it again. Of course, if you notice, like if I go to review the email for Zoe, I can see how it looked like when I send it to her. It'll take me right over here to her RSVP. Notice how right over here, when they open it up, they can click yes automatically, and it'll say thank you for your response. So now if I go back to the invitees manager right over here and hit search for all of my invitees, You're going to notice how, for example, because Zoe confirmed from the RSVP portal page, it says yes, and it actually gives you a timestamp right over here. So it tells you that she did click she confirmed yes from the RSVP link. Of course, most likely, some invitees are going to email you, or you already know that they're going to confirm yes. You can manually confirm them yes through the invitees manager right over here. So simply click right over here where it says RSVP status, and it'll confirm them. And right over here. Now, if you notice though, that when you manually confirm yes, there's going to be a little mail icon. So the yes and no confirmation that I showed you before automatically gets sent only when they RSVP'd from the RSVP portal here. So if you manually confirm them, and let's say they want to get a confirmation that they know that they've been confirmed, that's when you have this little mail icon. So if you click on it, it'll automatically send them their yes or no confirmation depending on how you mark them. And it'll say okay. Other things too is, let's say some of these individuals also had a guest, right? So if I go right over here to the layout preferences and then go to the guest, notice how it's been added in here. So let's say for Zoe, I gave her the ability to add in one guest. Let's say you did this beforehand, right? When you already managed like who can bring a +1 or not. When they go to their RSVP portal page, I'll just refresh it. Notice how they have the ability now to also add in their guests themselves. So again, if I hit this little plus sign, I can type in the name of the individual. So now if I hit submit, notice how Enrique Johnson is added. So now if I go back to the invitees manager, let's say I refresh it, you're going to notice that that guest has been invited. And it even gives you like a little timestamp of when that happened. And it was from the RSVP link. One of the other things that I definitely recommend for you to also have part of your layout preferences is this one right over here that says RSVP invitation email. This is really great because then you can also filter out like exactly if you sent it out, or for example, let's say you added a new batch of invitees to your event and you don't know how to filter them out to send out the invitation. You can do it from here. So like if you go to the RSVP invitation email and do not yet send, it'll give you all of those individuals that you haven't sent out the invite to. Remember, right over here, once you do find them, you can actually queue them up if you want to. And then under queue options, you have the ability where you can then do add to an existing mailing. So again, this is really great because now you have the ability where you can use the same invitation that you used for your first group, and you can duplicate it, and then it'll add those 7 individuals. So this, for one, it actually saves you all the trouble of recreating the invitation. It's just using the exact same one that you sent as the initial one. And of course, if you notice, it's the exact same thing. So again, you can go to the recipient, you can then go to the preview and send, and then you can immediately send it out as you prefer. And then if you notice, it'll show up right over here. Because I haven't sent it, it's still a draft. So again, you can work on it, or you can add in more people at a later time if you're still not ready to send it out. Again, you also have your other specific emails type. So again, let's say you maybe want to do a follow-up of people that didn't confirm. You can work on it. So I can do OK. Again, it gives you the same setup process. We can choose a template. Right over here, you can just use any of our templates, or you can start from scratch. So again, if we use one of the templates, remember, like I said, that these by default are not set in stone. You can actually edit it and customize them if you need to again. So again, you can change the wording right over here if you need to. Let's say, for example, you also want to add in an image. We can click on the image and we can just drag and drop it to wherever we want it to be. And remember, we do have the ability where we can just drag that image in here, and then it'll get uploaded. And remember, you can then choose your recipients. So you can do add from your list. And one of the good things here too is that you can also filter it out from your invitees list based on who you want to send it out as here too. So let's say you want to send it out to all the people that are still pending, right? You can hit search and then it'll give you all those individuals. So again, you do have the ability where you can send it one by one, you can add them one by one, or do add all around. So to add all of those individuals, you can then go to the preview and send so you can see how it looks like. And again, you notice how you can choose which specific invitee you want to see the test preview for. And again, send yourself a test email if you like, or send it right away. Hopefully this video has given you a more detailed explanation in regards to how the events mailing works. If you do ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Launchmetrics support team, and we're here to help. Thank you.